Hey, welcome to the show. This is Smooth Tim, and with me who do I got with me?
100G.
100G. How you doing tonight, man?
Chilling, baby. I'm good. I'm good. You good?
I'm doing
100G,
real
baby.
good. He's got the bling going
Yeah,
on too.
yeah. Let's get it.
So what up, what up, what up?
Chilling.
You filling in for Larry for a moment, huh? That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
he's
cool.
somewhere. Ain't no snitch, but don't know where he is though.
Oh, who
So ain't no
cares?
snitch. Yeah, ain't no snitch.
Hey, man, we were going to be talking tonight a bit about have rappers given rap a bad name? That's our first topic, and since you're sitting here, I may as well ask you. Have rappers given rap a bad name?
No, I ain't gonna really say that. A lot of rappers make some mistakes right now. You know what I'm saying? They getting a little money and letting the fame go to their head, but they making rap a lot of money for the executives. But they just kind of let the fame go to the head a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that fame, controlling that fame. Act like you've been somewhere before.
I just see too many of them messing up, or they could just be under the microscope, so to speak. But a lot
Oh,
of them, yeah, especially when you've got some of them that are just behind bars for stupid stuff, pulling out a gun on somebody or slinging drugs or some other type of gang affiliation, that type of bull BS.
lot, lot,
And you're right, they should
lot,
be
lot,
leaving that behind.
a lot of times they're the entourage, the guy that's hanging with them,
Hmm.
that get into it with somebody, and because they with that dude, those are the guys that's starting the stuff for the rappers, and the rappers taking the heat for it because they the ones that's on the tab, that's on the show, and everybody know them. But the entourage guys are the ones that really be getting to it. I see it all the time though when I be out there. You don't always beat on rappers though. You don't all beat on rappers though, man.
Be
The
the thugs
entourage, you gotta
hanging with them.
yeah, you gotta know who you hanging with. You gotta know who your people is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know who your people is and you don't know how they move, you're gonna get you in trouble.
And then some other people, a lot of it, sometimes I think the problems that uh, evolve into the business are a lot of financial. And let's go way back, and I think I can go way back to you. Let's go to like the sugar that came in
Yeah,
between Tupac and Biggie.
yeah. The thing about it is, man, that stuff sells. It sells regardless whether it's a rapper or not. It's just that when rappers get into it, the beef seems real. And people think it's real beef, but in actuality, it's not. It's just some way to market the rappers. You know what I'm saying? They want to make more money off those guys, so they use that beef. And sometimes the rappers take it too far and it becomes beef in real life, but they're rappers. They're not street niggas no more. They're rappers, so they gotta leave that shit alone. You know what I'm saying, Tim?
So, do you think that let's go back to that in with Tupac and Biggie? Okay, do you think that was real, or do you think that was just all media hype?
It was a little bit media hype and some of it was real, because Biggie was a real street dude. I didn't know him personally, and I didn't know Pac personally, but I do know that those guys had people around them that made them hype it up to be real, and they had to go along with it. So sometimes when you get into the mix, you got to be in the way, all the way in it, or you just can't be in it at all. And they were so deep in the mix, they had to be in it all the way. You know what I'm saying? And all that shit sold and made them a lot of money, but it killed them too, though. You know what I'm saying?
The
So
brand
streets
itself.
brand itself killed them, but they still making money right now. They left money for their family. So it kind of killed them out, but they left a legacy. But the rap game is a bad game out there, man. Those a lot of guys don't know what they're getting into. Especially the money. The money really makes them act out and get the wrong people around them. They might be moving right, but the people moving wrong.
So, what do you think about some like with what R. Kelly's going through?
I'm like, people mad because his music still selling. I'm like, uh, R. Kelly got accused of he got accused with everything other than jaywalking, man.
Mm,
I'm like,
mm.
all them convictions, he had more convictions. He had more convictions than he had the Ten Commandments. All that stuff he accused for, man. I'm like, come on, man. It would have took Moses. If R. Kelly convictions were the Ten Commandments, it would have took Moses and all the 12 disciples to carry that stuff, man. That's too much stuff. And the crazy part about it was, how come the people that knew about it never got convicted? What's up with that, though? That ain't street dope. They knew about it. Them parents made money off of that. And nobody got convicted but him. Come on, man. Shit ain't real. So I guess it's okay for him to make money off of it. The people that streaming his music, the people that's allowed to be streamed, need to get paid too. So let them get paid.
Let him get paid.
Let them get paid. Yeah. He makes the music. The music is good. His music didn't do anything to nobody.
No. Yeah, I find it kind of interesting. Yeah, that the families wanted to go after residuals.
Well, they got it. When he was doing it to their kids, they were sitting there watching. So they got their money already. When they dropped their kid off, he paid them. But they want more.
No. I mean residuals off of, instead of the for every play that R. Kelly might get 3 cents a nickel. I don't know what his deal is. Instead of him getting that money in the bank, the family was looking to grab that.
Well, I don't know a lot about the law, so I've been jammed up a couple of times. But one thing I do know, you got to take that to civil court. You got criminal court, you got civil court. That's civil court type stuff. You can't try to get money out of the man in criminal court. He got to form one thing. He's been indicted, convicted, or whatever. He ain't even faced the jury or went back to trial, or he's going to get his own convictions yet. He don't know how much time he's going to serve. So you got to take that to civil court, baby. You know what I'm saying? But don't tell nobody I told you that knowledge, because I'm a street nigga. I don't want nobody to know a lot of stuff, man. Don't tell nobody I told you that.
That you're smart.
Yeah,
don't tell anybody I'm this smart. I don't snitch.
I don't snitch, though.
Oh, man.
100 G, baby. I don't snitch.
I'm telling you, man. I am telling you.
Oh, ice on, baby. No.
But anyhow, yeah. No, the other thing I was really curious about, and some of these rappers are taking a stand, for the right thing and for what they believe in. And that segues into what I want to say about, I see Ice Cube turned down a $9 million movie contract over a vaccination mandate for the movie.
Yeah, they're trying to use them. And plus, it's $9 million. What's $9 million to a cube, baby?
That's what I mean.
But
he's still making a statement. Still making a statement.
That's a good statement, but I'm going to give you the numbers. Because I'm from the street, I know numbers. If he gonna get $9 million, they making quadruple times that. And plus on top of that, Ice Cube been real since day one. He ain't gonna be no token nigga. That's why they're trying to make him a token nigga. So he already got things going on. He ain't trying to fall for that. They got more than enough celebrities to use for that. Why they trying to use Cube? Why they don't use Samuel L. Jackson? Why they don't want to use OJ? Well, no, I can't say OJ.
Money. It's about making sales.
Yeah, OJ, give OJ some work. Let him take a stab at it. You know what I'm saying?
No pun intended.
No pun intended, baby.
The glove fits.
All right. R.I.P. Big Pun, baby. R.I.P. Big Pun. 100G, baby. 100G. R.I.P. Big Pun, baby.
Hey, let's move on just a tad bit. What do you think about Dave Chappelle getting in trouble?
Come on, baby. That's Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle been doing stuff like that since day one. People know how that man is. The thing about it is, it's crazy because he controls them. Okay, we all know. I do comedy myself sometimes, and the whole thing about it is you got to control the room. You know what I'm saying? You got to say certain jokes that's gonna touch people a certain way. No pun intended with R. Kelly, but they falling for it. The more they fall for it, the more Dave Chappelle get paid off of it. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's looking at the Netflix special just to see what he said, and everybody's saying, "Oh, it ain't that bad." They falling for it. He's a comedian. That's his job. His job is to piss people off, put a twist on things, and turn people a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing a great job. And on top of that, Dave Chappelle has made fun of everybody. He don't make fun of white people. He don't make fun of black people. He don't make fun of the crackheads. He make fun of Rick James. He don't make fun of Michael Jackson. Why he can't make fun of them? What make them special? You know what I'm saying? He make fun of everybody. Everybody get it in comedy. Cat Williams had a comedy special. He talk about it all the time. Ain't nobody trying to crucify him. That's real street talk right there, baby.
And we are apparently getting very, very culturally sensitive.
I know saying, that, man, you can't say nothing no more these days. It's like a pimp came and tell. I don't want to get into all that right now, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying you can't tell nobody nothing no more. Even on the streets, you still can't say nothing. You know, it's on the streets. You gotta like talk to the young G's with respect. Like, oh, excuse me, you're not stealing no money. You know, you got to go in the corner and start slinging like I told you to. Back in the day, were like, hey man, get your ass down in the corner, sling that man. You don't get slapped upside the head or something. Can't even talk to him no more. The whole everything going crazy, man. But
They
Dave
gonna take you
Chappelle
to
on the
court.
head, what he supposed to do.
They gonna take you to court 100 G.
I'm just saying, man.
When you treat me like I afford.
I say what I want to say anytime I want to say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding back. I'm on your show, and they ain't trying to make y'all show up, and they ain't trying to embarrass my brother. But you know, they lucky they ain't talking 100 G because I let you have it. I give you the smoke right here, baby. Okay, my bad. I thought I was in the streets. I'm on the show. My bad. Tid Bits.
That's all right. That's all right, man.
I thought I was in the streets for a second, and I almost snapped on the boy.
But no, I know that some of the individuals in the various communities, you know, LBGT. I know one of the trans comedians that are friends with us, lashed back out at Dave over that routine. But as you said,
it's comedy.
He spreads it across the board a bit. But hey, in fact, you know, let's give them a taste here real quick. Of what is going on with a Dave Chappelle type comedy set.
Can you pull over at the next exit? I need to use the restroom. There is not a restroom for you for 4 states. Will you just shut the fuck up so we can get where we're going? Like I was saying, my guess is the G's are driving that car. That makes sense to me, because there's white men in the G's. And these people are trying to get around discrimination and oppression. And you know how white dudes are. We know these roads. In fact, we built these roads. So the G's are just driving the car. Of course, next to the G's in the passenger seat is the L's. Everybody likes the L's, except for the G's. I don't know what that's about. I just know the G's don't like them that much. And the G's always say like little subliminal digs on them. It's unnecessary shit. It's not mean, but you know what I mean? They just be like, I wouldn't wear that. The only thing that breaks the tension between the L's and the G's are the B's in the back seat. That's right, there you go. Everybody scream out when you hear your letter. If it's one thing that the L's and the G's agree on, is that the B's are fucking gross. They seem greedy to the L's and the G's, you know what I mean? They're just sitting in the back seat like, yeah, man, I'll fuck anybody in this car. What's going on, man? And sitting next to the B's, all the way in the back seat by themselves, looking out the window. That's the T's. Everybody in the car respects the T's, but everyone also resents the T's. It's not the T's' fault, but everyone in the car just feels like the T's are making the trip take longer. Anything the T's say gets on everybody's nerves. And then the T's don't even say anything bad. They should be in the back talking to themselves. I'm hot. Shut up. Shut the up, okay? What? Just said I was hot. Can you pull over at the next exit? I need to use the restroom. There is not a restroom for you for 4 states. Will you just shut the fuck up so we can get where we're going? And just when that car can't get any more tense, the cues are a hitchhiker that they pick up on the road. Some white dude in booty shorts is walking down the freeway. G's see him. That guy might be one of us. Hey, are you okay? Need some help? And he come over there with them booty shorts leaning on the window. Hey, what's going on, fellas? Lady? Whatever pronoun makes you feel comfortable in the back. Yeah. I don't really know where I'm going. I don't know if I'm gay or I'm straight or whatever. All I know for sure is that I really want to get in this car.
Hey, Sketchy Squad! It's Big Sketch here. If you like this animation, please leave a like and comment. Let me know which animation you want to see.
Larry, you are back. Hang on a second here. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
Hey, how did my brother do, man?
He did fantastic. Let us right into that little Dave Chappelle comedy clip when it comes to why that kind of stuff offends people. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
It's just like real life. Like you said, he keeps it real. You know, he makes as much fun of white people, black people, Chicano, Oriental as he does anybody else. So, you know, just
Yeah, that's fair.
swallow it up, you know. I went
honey,
to comedy shows and
He said you did good. Okay.
he did good.
Yeah, I'm letting him know. He said it out.
He did good. Anyhow, you got any input on what we was talking about with the rappers or Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, it's kind of sad because rap is not the way it used to be. You know, back in the days, rap was it was really used to bring awareness to societies, and it was used as a voice. You know what I'm saying? Just to wake people up to see what's going on. And actually, rappers had more control and power over their music and their image. But now, record labels have taken over and they dictate what these rappers are doing. And a lot of rappers, I know this from speaking to someone personally. They said they want these guys to do this young stuff. They want them to have the entourages. They really want all these negative things that happen about the rappers because negativity sells. Just like Dave Chappelle was talking about his negativity, what he's saying about the people, it sells. R. Kelly, for example, they said his record sales are up 500%. People are mad about that. And the thing we see here was training is negativity. Negativity is selling.
It always
And
does. That's why, you know, the old adage is there's no such thing as bad press.
Exactly, man. It's like people hate you, but then they love you. They hate it, but then they love it.
Remind
And
you,
like the
remind
crazy
you of
part-
somebody else that got voted out and might be voted back in, huh?
Man, well,
People love to hate.
I think he got voted out because a lot of bigger people said, "Hey, this dude is bad for business," and he just didn't know how to president. That's what it was. He didn't know how to president. This time around, he'll know how to president better. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to wear that stuff when you become at a certain level in our government, in our society. You got to know how to wear it better. You know, you just can't just be your old self when you front and center. Sometimes you got to put up a front, even though you're a true American. You got to put up that front. Because then again, you'll be a true American without a check.
Right. A lot of things have changed, within the United States, and maybe it is that people are becoming more aware of the aspects that are being influenced on their life by what's going on around them, and kind of like when it comes to this, where the LBGT community kind of got upset with Dave over this comedy set that he does, the closer or whatever it was called. And
Yeah.
do you think that we're becoming overly sensitive to culture?
Well, in comedy, you can't be overly sensitive. I'm like, it's just how comedy is. That's how it's structured. And I can imagine Red Fox, which is probably one of the most raunchiest comedians. That's my favorite comedian. That's who I adore. I respect so much. I wish I had a chance to meet the guy, but I didn't. Um, but that's how the comedy is offensive, man. I'm like, there are comedians out there. Russell Peters, he says the N word. Um, he's like Indian, the Slurpee Indians. The dots, not the
Right.
tomahawk.
Hindu type
But
Indian.
yeah,
Right.
but I'm saying, like, man, it's comedy, bro. At the end of the day, it's comedy. Comedy is the only lines where you can actually say, you know what? Let's just say this shit. In comedy, you can talk about your wife, you can talk about your kids, you can say all. In comedy, it's only certain people you can't talk about. You can't dog the elderly. You can't dog people that are
Crippled.
mentally.
Well, I guess you can dog the crippled. I've heard that too.
It depends. You can't dog kids with Down syndrome. You cannot dog anybody that can't defend themselves in comedy. Only unless you can do elderly, but you can't do people that are kids with deficiencies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's the only line. But everybody else is, and then if you do elderly, you got to make sure it's funny. You got to know what you're doing when you mess with elderly people. But comedy is like,
they'll beat you up.
Yeah, comedy is like the only part.
You'll have an old geriatric come up on stage just whip you.
I know, right? Can't come over here, let me get at you. But I'm gonna tell you, this is funny too. I always tell when I talk to comedians, white ones, black ones, whatever. But comedy is the only time black people can really say what the hell they want to say and get away with it. They can say anything. They can say black comedians can say all the racist crap they want to say. But why is it different when it comes to I always get the acronym wrong when it comes to their community. Why is it okay for them to be able to trash and lash out to the white people and whoever hell pissed them off or ghetto black people, but they can't lash out to them? All I'm saying is it's comedy, man. If it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. You got to take it. You got to take what's all the grains.
Let's take it out of the comedy realm and let's go into boom. What's going on even in Major League Sports? Now we no longer have the Cleveland Indians. They are now the Cleveland Guardians.
Wow.
So I ask.
I was just waiting for Superman to fly by. Who they going to guard? It's a baseball team.
I'm not sure what the Guardian is. I'm not quite sure the significance of the name.
You know what made me mad about sports? It's sports athletes are put on a pedestal. And all they do are grown men playing with balls. That's all they are. Grown men playing with balls. Football, basketball, soccer ball, they're playing with balls, a hockey puck. I'm like, why are they so important? All right, and then why is their name so important? Why? They trying to erase Indian is not a bad word. Okay. How many times somebody just said, I'm tired of you, Indian? No. And I'm nigger. Okay. I'm tired of you. It's not even come on, man. The Washington Redskins, the Cleveland Indians.
What is it? They're now the Washington Football Club.
Okay, I know a worse one. The Dallas niggers. Change that. Okay, if it was the Dallas niggers. Okay, that's a real racist word. That's racist.
Well, I know
Arizona Wetbacks. I said that'd be a bad name. That's bad.
The Houston Honkies.
Houston Honkies.
I'm thinking,
Carolina
why not?
Crackers. Carolina Crackers. Okay, you can change those names, but come on, man. It's like what are they trying to hide? Who thought of that?
Well, I understand having some cultural sensitivity, and it would be, and I don't know, what their expectations are. I'm lost in thought here. Where are they going with? I really don't appreciate having, the Cleveland Indians, and especially like the Atlanta Braves. Let's put them as a real big example where they're doing that. That.
Yeah,
tomahawk chalk garbage, and
what about the Kansas City Chiefs? Kansas City Chiefs is next. They're next?
Well, Chicago Blackhawks in hockey.
Blackhawks a bird, ain't it?
Blackhawks an Indian.
Oh, I thought if it was Chicago black people, I said you want to change that. But
there's a Blackhawk Indian tribe, yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're next too.
Now wait a minute. Let's even go crazier. Okay, we got Lake Erie up here. We've got Lake Erie up here, named after the Erie Indians. Maybe we should rename that to something. Lake. What
else? Yeah, Lake. Yeah, you might as well rename everything. They messing with the bottle. What's that? The syrup bottle, Aunt Your Mama.
But yeah, And
Uncle
what
Ben's?
Uncle Ben you can't get, yeah, Aunt Jemima. I mean,
Come on,
you know,
man.
yeah, I think it's gone just a tad bit overboard. I
I'm
mean,
saying
I
give us-
understand. I don't want anybody walking up and calling me a cracker, a honky. I mean, I understand that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
As I wouldn't
Someone
come
like
up
calling me
and
a broke- yeah.
and racially slur, or a female, a male. Yeah, why?
Yeah, it's crazy because
But to
those
take it to that
things,
point to where I'm so offended by the name, you got to change it. It's been like
Aunt
that.
Mama, Uncle Ben, the lady with a wrap on her head, the guy, the brother with some good, some pretty cute cheeks selling rice. He's selling rice. She's making syrup. The Cleveland Indians. I'm like, there were Indians. I'm like, it wasn't like the Cleveland. I got to pull my history book. This is way worse things you can call Indians. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, they push it too far. And the thing about it is, you really take it. What about when they change the name? What about all the merchandise they sold and how they're gonna remarket it?
I don't know. I think
How's
that might
that
have been, and part of that I wonder is if, and it's not the indigenous people of this country haven't been screwed over left and right, but do you expect some type of money profits off of the name Indian?
Yeah, maybe there was. See, we got to dig deep into that because maybe those names held profits. For those people.
Tribal names.
Or
I mean, I don't know.
Possible. They just say, you know what? Maybe. So it's probably something going on we don't know about. But
You already took away our land. Why take away our name too? I mean, you could have that viewpoint. How many times are you got? How many times you got to screw us in 300, 400 years?
Oh, you can screw America. That's how it does. I'm like, I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for somebody to get screwed next. I'm like, who's next? I'm like, hey, they got us. They got the Indians. They got the Jews. They got somebody. Who's next? They got the Irish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I already know that. Yeah, my family wasn't welcomed when we came over here.
What's your deep roots nationality?
Scotch Irish.
Ooh, yeah, you were screwed.
Yeah,
you were poor.
They came over in 1840.
Yeah, your ancestors were poor. Were the Irish like the first slaves to the British?
Mm-hmm.
Were the Irish the first slaves to the British? I think
the
Irish were the poor. They were the slaves that came over in Jamestown. They were the first slaves in America.
Yeah.
Because they were the first slaves, the poor Irish, and then then they brought over the Africans and the Indians. Like they had just killed them.
That's where that's where they came up with the term sharecropper. What we do is we'll give this white boy a little bit of land that he'll never be able to pay for.
Yeah. The Irish were poor, man. They were poor. They would treated like crap too. It's just we took their place. We got treated like crap.
Wait, you know what? And part of that history goes. Now let me explain part of the history. And some people don't know that. Yeah, the Irish was indebted slaves, and they were traded around.
Indentured service.
They were part of the a marketable piece of merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
And but the problem became, I look like other white people. So when I ran away, it was kind of hard to sit there and say, look for a white person with.
Yeah, no, everybody looking like us. All black people look alike.
So then when somebody got the idea, hey, you know what? We could get somebody that's black and we could tell them apart from the white slaves.
Right, and that's what
fucking genius.
A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that.
No, they don't know that, but that is how it really started.
That's how it started. Poor white Irish, and Irish were the poorest ones. Irish, and then a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people think that Mexicans were the biggest immigration to America. It was the Germans. Mm-hmm. That's why most of the Caucasian people in America, they ancestry seem to be back to Germans, because
especially when you look up north. Look up north when you start looking at like Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Yeah, mostly German.
Mostly Germans.
Yeah, and they just trickle down to everybody, So.
Absolutely.
How do we get on that anyway? We're talking about the baseball team.
Yeah, man, changing their names and stuff. We're talking about cultural sensitivity and do the indigenous people, and that seems to be where the names are.
I bet it's about some money. But
I don't know, because I find it funny. Yeah, with the Indians, the Redskins, and like you said, the who's next.
Think about all the names they changing. Yeah, every name they changing has something to do with the real Native Americans before it became American.
So who knows?
I didn't say indigenous. I always mess that word up when I try to say it.
Indigenous.
I got to practice that. Maybe it sounds he's indigenous.
He is indigenous to our country. We are
got
actually
an
the
indigenous
foreigners, don't
background.
you know? They didn't come over here on a boat. They were here already. So what up?
Man, they were chilling, smoking weed. The peace pipe, that was weed. That was all it was.
They had all the good stuff. That's right.
Stolen people's stuff. They wrong for that.
Hey,
That's what.
What?
That's what the acronym. When they say Indian giver, that's where it came from. they signed a treaty. I forgot what tribe it was. They signed a treaty saying we're going to give you back all this land. they killed all of them, and stole the land back.
Now wait a minute. You know that's why they call it the Trail of Tears.
Yeah, exactly. What tribe was that?
That was the from the Appalachians, the Cherokee, the Cherokee.
Yeah, the Trail of Tears, and the government said we're gonna give your land back and all this.
Yeah, and as they're getting closer to the desert, they're like, "You got to be freaking kidding me!" I took it up the wazoo with this one.
Oh, they screwed them. You talking about? That's why I say, man, black people say they got screwed in America. You should have been Indian. You better be glad you weren't Indian.
Well, look how it is still. Look how it is still. And the only thing that they were able to do smart was, if they had a tribe that was, they had enough resources that they could put a casino up, and make some profit, because that's non-tax. That's out of the state. That's tribal territory.
Yeah, and I tell people, they always say, where are reparations and everything? The only difference between black people when it comes to America is the Indians had a contract. There was some kind of contract signed that saying we owe these people something. When Africans were slaves, we were property. So they didn't owe us anything because we were their property. That's the difference between us getting reparations or not. In actuality, we did get them at one time, but I think the following president, when he took over office, he took them right back. Forgot his name. When Abraham Lincoln got assassinated, the president that came behind him represented the South, and he was the one that took back the 4 acres and the mule. But it was given to us at one time. He took it back. He canceled that. But it wasn't a contract. See, they just said, we're going to give it to you. When you sign a contract, you have a contract. And you got to somewhat uphold a contract. The Indians had a contract. They had a contract. That's why they get a lot of reparations. Not all of them.
Well, that's what I was leading up to. Some got okay. Some of them got really screwed. You watch these documentaries where, they don't even have frickin' running water or toilet.
Man, and there could have been the tribes that, there could have been some of the tribes that wasn't on the contract, but the ones that did receive reparations were the ones that did have a contract. And it's actually in the history books. You can look that up.
That's interesting reading. So we got a couple of things we need to read up on.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing I wanted to get into real quick with you was what happened up in Minneapolis, St. Paul, when they had issue 2 on the ballot, which was basically to make the police department, just get rid of them and start what was called a public safety agency, or Department of Public Safety, and it would be under the control of the mayor.
Yeah, like that's really going to work. Who's going to run it? The same people that run a police department, the same people that's going to run that agency. There's no way in the world. I'm going to tell you something, Tim. Police are not going anywhere. But okay, they got some good cops and bad cops. But at the end of the day, police officers are not going anywhere. They're not going to defund the police department. You think it's bad now? It's going to get even worse. I know a lot of people on the streets, so know a lot of regular guys. They respect the police they don't respect behind their back, but they'll do a lot less knowing that police activity is around. No one, this country will not survive without police. It's not going to happen. And I'm not happy about everything these officers have done to a certain group of people, namely my group of people. I'm not happy what they've done to other groups of people either. The unprofessionalism of them. But I do feel that you need a police presence. You need police officers. There are some good officers here, and we just got to make sure we pass laws to make sure that when they cross the line, when it comes to justice and just plain evil, they need to be held accountable. That's the problem. It ain't the police officer. It's the professionalism of the police officer and the department that they work for and the people up top. Because if they snip it in the bud from up top, then that won't happen. And that's the problem. I know some good officers. Good white officers, good black officers. I've seen some good Hispanic officers. Some of my friends are police officers. And I knew them before they became police officers. And since they became police officers, they're still the same people I know. They still try to do everything fairly.
Well, I would hope so.
I wouldn't want to be a police officer, but
I think where people are getting some of this is, when you have certain situations, excuse me, where emergency services need to respond.
mm-hmm.
And they may not necessarily be properly equipped. And that could be, in the case of somebody who is overdosing, somebody who is having a traumatic mental breakdown, and or somebody who's having, some issues or coming down, or maybe they didn't take their medications. And they're just acting the fool. I don't think that the police are necessarily trained on how to de-escalate those properly as a professional within, let's say, the a realm of a psychiatrist and or an advanced EMT. And I think that's what they would like to see respond at times, depending upon the situation, instead of a police officer who's trying to deal with a person who's mentally disturbed for one reason or the other, and the situation spirals out of control.
Tim, a police officer is nothing but a regular man or a woman with a job. They have a gun, they have a badge, they have a little bit more authority than a regular citizen. They have a little bit more training than a regular citizen. But you're not going to be fully trained until you go through every situation. I'm like, I was thinking one time, I said, why don't you just let black people police black people and white people police white people? Because you rarely hear about a black dude shoot a bunch of white people, shoot a bunch of black people. You just don't see it that often like that. A lot of these officers that are white killing black people, or Mexican beating up white people, whatever they're doing. It's bad press for Caucasian people, because every time you see it, it's usually a Caucasian officer. And a lot of times it's in a very high situation where someone is powering, or maybe they might have mental health issues or something like that. But I've seen some instances in where they didn't do enough. And sometimes they didn't do enough. Sometimes they do too much to this person and not enough to that person. And it's the same thing. Or that person has a lot less, that person has more, and they didn't do nothing to that person. So what's the problem with that then? Okay, now, you're in a situation where you got a hostile individual with no gun. Situation, you have a hostile individual with a gun. This person's black, this person's white. He gets shot, he doesn't. What the hell happened? That's a decision. You made a decision to do that to that person and not do it to that person. Okay, that person has a gun. If I show up on scene and see a person with a gun and they fronting a gun and I'm an officer and I feel I'm in danger, he getting shot. I don't care whether they're black or white. If I'm in a situation and I do my things, hey, put your gun down, hop behind the car, cough back up, and that person come and talk to me with a gun, again, I got to protect myself, going to my family. Now, put the situation where a person is acting a fool or whatever, and they won't, and I got to just get physical with them, I get physical with them. But I want to make sure I protect my gun and everything like that. So I'm saying when you got guns involved and it's evident and that person could possibly kill you or someone else, yes. But when it's not a gun involved, no. I'm thinking, I get. So I'm old school.
So you don't think that there's a need to have the way that the police respond to various situations looked at and reformed?
Yeah, I'm like, if you got a taser and all those other items that don't work on a person, they don't have a gun, you don't kill them. Not, you just get back in your car and call for backup and get a bunch of guys to take the person down or a woman down or whoever down, and then you go from there. If you know they got mental health issues, you need to call somebody on site, EMTs or whoever you got that's good, works in that department. They could be a police officer that's good in psychology, and then maybe bring them down or whatever. So whatever you got to bring in.
See, that's part of that's part of what they want to look at.
Yeah, that's what
is to make sure you have a response like that available, instead of just Larry dealing with this mental, walking around with a knife saying he's going to stab everybody. And when he starts approaching you, do I reach for my taser? Have you been taser certified? I don't know. Or now you've got your service weapon and you're going to draw that and fire that at him to protect yourself.
Okay, and if he's trying to hurt someone, if he has a knife and he's
But he
trying to
hasn't
hurt
hurt
me or
anybody
someone
yet.
else,
He's simply just going off like a maniac, and he's stepping towards you like it's going out of style.
what would you do? If I don't have a knife, I use a taser, and first thing I protect myself. I get behind my car. That's me because
I'd
I
give
don't
him
believe. I
ground.
don't. I don't really believe in guns, Tim. I'm old school. I believe in really fist fighting people and just defending yourself. Old school. I don't really believe in guns.
Should I even say
I
anything?
don't have a gun. I don't have a gun. I box you. I'm boxing you straight up. So I'm more. I gotta watch myself because I'll be the one to get shot by an individual, or because I don't believe in guns. I'm fighting. I can take I can take an L. It ain't gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
If
it's
somebody
not.
take me,
They can take a guy down your size easy enough without having,
man.
having
But
vital.
officers
We
are
don't have to
afraid
use
to do
deadly
that.
force.
They
You
don't
know.
have to. I'm like, even if you're an officer, you got to put hands on the guy. Put hands on the guy. You can write that down, and you can pretty much justify that. The paperwork gonna be a lot less than shooting them. Think about shooting somebody, and then then it black, then you got NAACP involved, then you got riots, then you got marches. When you could easily just tase the guy, box the guy, he didn't go down, hit him with your gun, didn't go down. Okay, get back your car, call back up, make sure he doesn't hurt anybody else. I'm like,
I
man,
would
that
rather.
police officer.
I would rather take you in to the, because I broke your wrist than
Ugh,
I shot you.
all that bad stuff
I
can
just,
happen over.
I grabbed your hand, put you into a lock, and your wrist snapped. But would you rather
Man,
be shot?
I respect officers. I've seen some officers work with them when I was working store manager. See some officers, somebody got caught stealing, and the guy was talking trash and this and this. Who was in South Oak Cliff, and the officers were from the hood, so he was talking all this. So he gonna do this to all these people. Officers came in. Can I tell you this verbatim? I'm gonna cuss a little bit on the show.
Go ahead.
This officer came in and said, I said, hey, this guy said he got caught stealing, and he's saying he's gonna whoop my ass, whoop their ass. The officer said, shit, you ain't gonna whoop nobody's ass. So he said, whoop my ass. Whoop my ass. Try that. They said, we from the hood. We'll beat your motherfucking ass right now. He sat down and said another word. Didn't say nothing else. They said, we'll beat your motherfucking ass right now. And those officers serious about that. They didn't say nothing about no gun. They didn't say anything about anything else. They said they will beat his ass. And he was like, okay, yeah, let me shut up. And he shut up, took his ticket, shut up, and never came back.
But
And that's all it takes sometimes.
I was gonna mention it earlier, and it, how you can smell it, right? If somebody's gonna go off on you, you smell it, it's coming, or if
Right.
somebody's gonna back down, or somebody's full of shit. I mean,
Yeah, it's no.
so yeah, I mean, and what if they conveyed it to that regard to where that guy was like, they're on the real. I'll just sit down and take it. Just shut up.
The ones that say what they're gonna do, they ain't gonna really do it. The ones that are quiet or say something, they're gonna say they're gonna do something, then they get quiet, they're the ones you worry about. But the thing about it is, those guys you don't really have a problem with unless they're on some drugs or something like that. But then again, it's just that you just got to make the call where if the person is not going to hurt anyone else or yourself, just don't do it. And you can and if they done made some mistakes, but you can't defund the police. No matter how much we dislike them,
You think
who's gonna
about that.
secure?
That's not even textbok kind of talk. I mean, not even on. That's not even a part of how they would train you to, de-escalate a situation, but just keeping it real. But then again, they applied what they knew would work with that individual.
Yeah, kill them, choking them. But they have done it to all races of people. It's and just so happened the media they put black people on there mostly, and then a lot of things have happened to us in the past. But it's more of just we got to get the right people in. We got to get the right people as officers. We got to get people that are not afraid and people that can actually just diffuse the situation and do the right thing. That's what we need because we need police officers.
There really does need to be more continuing education. I'm not sure how they're asked to. I mean, even after they get out of whatever the maybe 3,000 hours, 3,500
Yeah,
hours worth of training.
it takes 10,000 hours to be an expert in anything. They always say 10,000 hours.
But I
you're pretty much
believe,
expert.
that all these people should have additional training, whether it comes to, handling a violent individual, mentally disturbed, and or dealing with indigenous people,
Yeah,
or dealing with, even religiously different people.
but A lot of people look at black people and automatically assume that we're violent and we're going to be a problem.
Oh
and
yeah.
you got to understand that we have been suppressed for a long time, and we go through a lot of economic issues in America. We don't get a fair share. We don't get a fair chance on a lot of things, and we're dealing with a lot of stress. But that's part of life, Tim. That's part of life. So
Do you think some
knowing
of
that
it's
all these,
preconceived? Do you think some of it's preconceived where,
yeah, it is
a
most
black
definitely.
man comes up on me, oh man, he's gonna kick my ass and all and there's a white officer comes up to a black man, he's like, oh fuck, I'm going to jail.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
Already
Like
already you got these people thinking this shit before any verbal exchange whatsoever.
yeah, I'm like I'm 6 foot. I weigh 220, 215 now. I'm in training, and on it, I get nervous, and then I'm nervous like man, a little bitty dude. So I'm like, oh man, and I get nervous. And I get around officers because I know how I am, and I know enough of the law where you're not just going to just take
If
advantage
you
of me.
come on me all
And
hard and stuff, Larry, I might think, he's trying to get frisky and stuff with me. I don't know.
they're all hard.
But no.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man.
But
It's tough because
I think that has a lot to do with it in the way people react so quickly and sporadically is, they're not, they're all of a sudden emotionally,
yeah,
applying that, oh my God, I'm in fear, boom. And now the situation is like, well, how did he get there to begin with?
angry
You
black
pose no
man.
threat except being
Yeah,
black, right?
yeah, angry black man, angry black woman, cop, scary Caucasian cop. They're not used to that. That's why I say if you're gonna do it like that, like let black people police black people, let white people police white people. It's got to be like that to avoid the controversy.
So you're
But
talking
those,
about some reform may be necessary, just the
there's a
way
lot
it's
of reform
handled.
necessary. There's a lot of reform. There's a lot of training. I'm like, I don't say reform, but I say they need to be trained more. They go through a psychological test prior to being a police officer. So I think they need to continue those as they progress in their career as officers because they're going to get more experience when it comes to being in the street. But they need to make sure they get the proper experience mentally. They need to, if they're going to feed their body when it comes to training and being prepared, they need to feed their mind also. They need to know people. They need to know how these people operate. What are the triggers?
Yeah,
We already,
I don't know that psychological testing is all the answer, because some things fall through the cracks.
yeah, and I
I
ain't gonna
think
lie,
some of the problems comes with the blue code. You know what I'm
black
talking
or
about?
blue. Yeah,
No,
black or blue. What side you gonna choose?
no, the blue code. Don't rat out another officer.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about the blue pill like Neo.
No, the blue code. Like, don't be. You see something,
Street.
and I think that's where the culture kind of needs to change.
Man, you a cop. When you take the oath, I read some. They need to read the oath as a police officer. They ain't got nothing to do with no blue code. They ain't got nothing about ratting out the officer in an oath. You take an oath, and the oath is protect and serve, and that's what they're supposed to be doing. We pay them. Our tax dollars pay officers, and I ain't trying to mail bash officers because there might be some that might look at the show. Or
And
whatever.
again, you see how we twisted it back to how culture can make a difference, even the culture within a agency or within a business, not necessarily just within our nation.
If you work with a black officer, you should be able to understand how black people operate. But before they became a black officer, they were a black person, or a black man, or a black woman. It doesn't change. It's just ignorance when it comes to making a bad decision and scared.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, man. It's been another fantastic show.
We ran through a smooth hour, didn't we?
We ran
don't
through
even feel
it
like it does.
smooth. We ran through a real fantastic. So anyhow, hey, quickly, man, let me jump up into a full cam with you and tell everybody about what's going on and what you're going to be getting into real soon.
All right. I'm probably gonna be doing a friend of mine, 20 pieces, setting a show up for us. We probably hitting a comedy show up here in Dallas soon. And as of course, I got the personal training thing going on. I'll be full swing in January working on the clothing line. Like basically you can just look at me on LRE Fitness on Facebook and Estelle Junior Larry on Facebook too. Instagram, LRE Fitness, look me up. I got a few photos of myself. I did some training. I did some 2 different training. One of them I was working on just power and building muscle, and the other one I worked on doing cardio. So it's two different sets, mindsets, and then two different results. And I'm gonna give y'all a tip for this week when it comes to working out. Make sure that the best way to lose weight when you exercise or train is intensity. I don't know if I said it before, but you always want to add intensity in your workouts. The last thing you should do is get on a treadmill and walk for 2 hours at the same pace. Okay. If you really want to lose weight, you need to walk at a higher intensity or run a little bit. And you can shorten that 2 hours down by adding more intensity because you want to get your metabolism up. The metabolism is that burns the calories. And then once you do your warm up on your treadmill, whether it's a mile, I recommend a mile, depending on if you weight train, and do a mile and do some pretty good intensity, get to your weight training because that'll continue to keep your metabolism up and you burn weight faster. And then shorten your rest periods. So intensity and short rest periods are the best ways to lose weight when it comes to training. Intensity and short rest periods. And do a lot of your exercises standing up, because as long as you're standing up, your metabolism is still up and it's burning. Try to avoid laying on your back because then you start resting more. So you want to eliminate your rest periods and high intensity. So that's the tip this week from Tid Bits from Larry Estelle, personal trainer.
I'm doing it all wrong because I like laying on my back in bed for my high intensity exercise.
Well, your body's rest when you're lying down, you're at rest. So you really want to do a lot of your.
No, you missed all that. That's
up.
okay. Never mind.
I'm trying to avoid that. But you don't want me to get started. My brother 100G saying
He'll be back.